Now we're going to go over the winch. The winch lives in the logistics bay in this black box. It needs to have the fuel come with it, but otherwise everything you need to run this system other than the rope is in this box. So today we're gonna run off of Rescue 1, which the tire is able to be an anchor. So that's gonna be our backup anchor. So I'm gonna have a strap for that. Set these other ones aside. There's a couple different options for hooking up to this. You can hook directly into the hitch is one option, and then the other option is to actually hook over the ball. So you can do that as well. So we'll just do that because it's a little simpler. But again, you can pick whichever one you would want. And the other option, I'm going to take out the winch. Go ahead and check that you have gas in it. You can top it off if you need to. Looks like we have fuel. All right. You're going to turn the choke on. Turn the gas switch on. It's not sitting very well. It does not like this hitch. All right. There we go. There we go. Okay, we got that hooked up. I'm gonna go ahead and move this box out of the way and run our anchor strap back here. And this is going to be for the backup anchor. Get that out of the way. The winch itself does not have progress capture, so it needs an anchor as well. In there you'll find some tough cord. You can hook this directly to the toe rings. You may need to readjust this length, but you're going to take it out here. This pressic is going to be your progress capture. We'll go ahead and rig the rope and see. This might be pretty close. We might not even have to retie it. So we'll go back to our belay line here first. So this backup belay line, we're going to use a simple pressic pulley belay. Go old school. A little twisted there, but that's all right. Try to keep things as clean as possible. And then this is a self-winding pressic belay here. So we'll go ahead and tie. You can do the VT, the distal, swabish. Here I'm doing a swabish. Alright. So you want to make sure those all line up nice and smooth. Clip that in, and what you have there is a backup belay. with a prusik minding pulley there. So you can see that's holding. Going back to your winch here. You're going to come up through the little notch here. It's going to go over that golden wheel there. You're going to wrap at least 3 times. You can fit 4 if you need to, depends on the size of your load. And it's going to come up through this hook. You can go ahead and just throw a half hitch on there for now. Next we're going to do the progress capture on the winch. For that we're also going to use, I'm going to use the Swabish, just because I find it kind of fastest. But any one of our releasable hitches is fine. Okay, so this should reach, you don't want a lot of slack in that. Like any system, you kind of want that to catch without lowering into it too much, but just enough sort of looseness there that you can make the adjustments you need to make. And so you can pass a knot if you need to. So there's enough room that you could get a knot up to here and also move this beyond the knot. So we can go ahead and function test that. Get it nice and tight. You can see it holds on its own. Go ahead and tighten up the winch a little here. Alright, so we have our winch all set up. We have our progress capture. It's going to 2 different tow hitches there for redundancy. We've got our backup prusik and pulley belay over there. Someone will have to man that just by pulling that line loosely as the belay. We've already turned on our choke and our fuel switch. We're just going to turn our speed just so that it's on. Going to turn our switch on. And then once I start this up, you won't be able to hear me anymore. And we're not going to go very far because we don't have too much slack in the rope. But basically you just pull slight tension on this enough to where this catches the rope and pulls it up. So go ahead and start it. And that's the winch.
So we're going to put together a raise system using the clutch in the 3-to-1 and 5-to-1 configuration. So I'm going to start out doing it with just one rope, and then we'll add the second rope in its place. So to do this, you need a clutch, a rope grab, single pulley, a double pulley for when we get to the 5-to-1, and carabiners. Start by attaching our clutch to our plate here. Open it up. We already have our load kind of anchored off to the side there. Insert that and remove our clutch. We'll take our rope grab, pulley, this line here. And we have kind of our basic 3-to-1 system set up here. See that? Now, to convert it to a 5-to-1, we're just going to unclip this single pulley. Try not to get these lines tangled. Just fold it back, clip it into the becket on the clutch, and then these two lines that we have here are what's going to go into our double pulley. Just as they were kind of pulled back. That back into the rope grab, and we now have the 5-to-1. Now, to complete the redundant system for our rescue system using the clutch, basically just going to add a second line with all the parts just like we did on our 5-to-1 system we have set up here. So start exactly the same by getting the clutch connected to the anchor plate. Prove it. Add our rope grab just like we did before. Try to keep the systems kind of symmetrical here. And we'll show kind of adding this in. So if we were going to do just a 3-to-1, add this to our rope grab right here. But we're building a 5-to-1 just like we have on the other side. So we'll run it back, attach it into the becket. And just like we did on the other side, bring our ropes right back into the pulley here. Then as we do a raise, pull both systems in line. And that's 5-to-1 rescue system using a clutch.
Okay, we're going to start a safety check on a system. Nick has the safety checklist, which you will have for your test, and we'll start at the top.
So at least what are our objectives here?
So our objective is to move a load up toward our system.
And the plan to accomplish that?
So we have our load hook down below, and we have a clutch system with a 5-to-1 on 11 mil lines.
Okay, communications and contingency?
So our communications are going to be up, down, and stop. You can also say slow or fast, but otherwise stick to those terms. And our contingency plan, if we need to offload the system and go to a lower, pretty easy with the clutches. And if we need to do any other piggyback adjustments, we'll use the tails of the rope.
All right, so let's dive into safety checking the system itself,
Okay.
starting with the anchors.
So I'm looking at our anchor right now. We have a verified concrete floor anchor. Single point of attachment is strong.
Okay, and correctly secured.
Yep.
Carabiners locked, etc.
So it is correctly secured to the floor. The anchor plate's correctly attached. All of our carabiners in our system are locked.
All right, and then the anchor system angles.
Yep, so we have a single point, but I'd be looking at everything is within 45 degrees if we were looking at multiple anchors.
Okay, and then devices.
Our devices are our clutches, which are appropriately attached to the rope. Looking at those, kind of doing the pull test there, and then the function test, and correctly on that side. Again, pulling on our load, function testing that clutch, It is appropriately sliding, and those are locked off.
All right, and rope.
Our rope is an 11 mil line. It is appears to be intact. Inspected it coming out of the bag, and it is correct for our devices.
We're assuming it's correctly attached to the load here.
So I'll go ahead and check the load. It's attached with 2 separate and independent figure 8s on a bite.
And any edge considerations here?
We don't have any edges here, but if we did have any edges, we would put some protection underneath the rope where it passed over the edge.
All right. That's our checklist.
Our next, do we have anything? Is that it?
That's it.
That's it. We're good to go. All right, for the next session of the level 2 technician test, we're going to go over the brake bar, which can also be used as a blunt object to hit things with. But the brake bar is useful if you have really long blowers or really heavy loads, so it can dissipate heat better than other devices. And if you're going to have a variable load as well, so if you're going down and picking up like a large object or gear, it allows you to vary the friction. So you load the brake bar. You have to slide things to the middle to release them. Once they're on the end, they won't release. So slide that to the middle. Slide your rope in. And each time you put your rope over something, there's a little groove to show you that you're going the right way. So that goes over. These just pop up. Keeps going over. And for 1 person load, probably 2 bars is enough. So depending on your load, but you can always do several and then you can pop them out later if you have too much friction. So we'll go ahead and get that all ready to go. Just before starting your operation, you get those cinched up, do a twist and then just drop that over, and you can do a couple of those over this spike on the end to lock that off. Place that here into your system. And here you can see we have a second line. This is traditionally what you'd use with the brake bar, which is just a prusik belay. Prior to having BTs, this would be a double prusik, but in this case, this is plenty strong enough for a single prusik belay. So let's go ahead and do our safety check, systems check, and then we've decided our load is ready to go. So we've weighted that system. Then go ahead and even these up so we've got the weight on the bar here. With this particular load, we don't probably need quite as much friction. So that's going to come. We're just going to pop these off, or even just pop them out of the way. And then when we're ready to lower, we can just let it slide through, and I'm going to release this prusik as I lower. And I'm going to get on that side of it. So belay gives that smooth start. So we're just lowering. And then when we need to stop, we just let that prusik set. And again, we can just tie this off. With our hands here. We've got ourselves a little bit twisted, but that's okay.